Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm Andrew Bartolotta. Today we're talking about a father-son social enterprise inspired by John Lee Cronin, a young man with Down syndrome and his love of colorful and fun socks. John and Mark, you're on a mission to spread happiness. First, give listeners a quick history of John's crazy socks and how it grew into the world's largest sock store.
Well, Andrew, first, thank you for having us on. This is great.
Thanks so much.
We love
Absolutely.
what City Current is doing, right? Let's share a little good news. John's Crazy Socks, you already said, what's our mission, pal?
I spent happiness.
But how did we get started? Well, you cast back a little more than 5 years ago in the fall of 2016, and in a small log cabin in the woods.
No,
we were in suburban New York, on Long Island, outside New York City, a town called Huntington, and we were born out of necessity. And where were you, John?
I was at our Huntington High School. I was going to be my last year of school.
His last year of school, so he's trying to figure out, what do I do next? And what were you looking at?
I looked at job, program, and school. I got like something I don't like.
He didn't say anything he liked. And that's an unfortunate reality for people with different abilities. The unemployment rate for somebody with a disability is twice the average, but that doesn't really tell the story. Fewer than 1 in 5 people with a disability are employed. So John didn't say anything he liked, but John's a natural entrepreneur. So you didn't see a job you wanted. What'd you say?
I said, I want to create one. I want to make one.
You make one. And what'd you tell me?
I said, I want to go play with my dad. I'm nice. Let's start being together.
So he comes to me and says, Dad, I want to go into business with you. And I'm a lucky man, right? I've got 3 sons. John's the youngest. And this is one I can work with. So you had to come up with an idea. What was one of your ideas?
While I made a food truck, I got an idea from the movie Chef. John Favreau, that movie about a father buying a food truck.
So this seemed like a fun idea. We could have a food truck. We're thinking, what could we make? But we ran into a problem.
We can't cook.
Yeah, we can't cook.
Oh, that's just a small problem.
But then, right before Thanksgiving in 2016, John had his eureka moment.
I did. I want to start creating socks. Why socks? It's fun, it's colorful, it's creative. I'll always remember being me.
And John had worn these crazy socks his whole life. He used to drive around looking for them. So we figured, if John loved these socks this much, surely other people would too, and we could find our tribe. So we set out to test the idea, right?
Right.
You already had the name.
I got a name, I got a website,
We built a website, got a little inventory. The only marketing we did was to set up a Facebook page, and I would take out my cell phone and we made videos. And who was in those videos?
I am. I talk about sock.
And what day did we open?
We opened Friday, December 9th, 2016.
And most of those first orders were local, which made sense. People that knew us or knew of us. And how did you deliver those?
Our home delivery.
Home deliveries. So we tested the idea. It tested well, and we knew we could grow this business. We could make it happen. And so now, just a little over 5 years later, we went from where we could put all of the socks we had on one table. How many different socks do we have now?
We have now a 4,000 different socks.
4,000 different sock styles, which makes John here the owner of the world's largest sock store. And when we started those home deliveries, we've now shipped over 375,000 packages to 88 different countries. But if we get an order between our office and home, what are you doing with that order?
Our home delivery.
We're still doing home deliveries. And things we did that we started, we're still carrying through. What goes in every package?
A chicken note and candy.
A handwritten thank you note from John. Yes, we make a copy, and candy. just to say thank you to our customers. So that's how we got started, and that gives a little glimpse of what we're doing now.
That's so great. And what I love too about John's Crazy Socks is not only is it socks, but it's about giving back. Talk about your mission and giving back to nonprofits like the Special Olympics and through your Autism Can Do Scholarship.
We, as you mentioned before, we're a social enterprise. So we have both a social and a business purpose, and they feed off of each other. And that social mission really comes down to showing what people with different abilities can do. So that's where we start, right? More than half of our colleagues have a different ability. So we've been able to create 34 jobs.
Right.
22 of those are held by people with different abilities. And we want to do more than that. We want to show the world. So we create content for our social media platforms. We host tours and work groups from schools and social service agencies. And now that we do those virtually, people from around the world have come to learn, oh, what can I do? We do speaking engagements and interviews like this. That's why we're so grateful, Andrew. And we do advocacy work. The giving back is part of that. So right from day one, we pledge 5% of our earnings to
A Special Olympics.
And why the Special Olympics?
A Special Olympic athlete.
Yes, John is a Special Olympic athlete. Special Olympics have been very important in his life. So we started there. But we've gone on to create products that celebrate causes and raise awareness and funds for those causes. So what was the first awareness sock we created?
First one is a Down syndrome awareness.
Down syndrome awareness sock to celebrate people with Down syndrome. And that raises money for the National Down Syndrome Society. But we've gone on to create products that raise awareness about autism and cerebral palsy.
We have also Emily. We have
Right, pet rescue socks.
right back 2020. We have a healthcare supervisor sock to the frontline workers as a thank to frontline.
Right, we made
Awesome.
healthcare superhero socks saying thank you to frontline workers. Those have raised over $50,000 for frontline workers. So all told, today we're a small business, but we've raised over $500,000 for our charity partners that include the National Down Syndrome Society, the Autism Society of America, the American Cancer Society. And John here has donated over $100,000 to the Special Olympics, more than any Special Olympic athlete before. Because
That's fantastic.
it's
awesome.
not enough to just sell stuff. You got to give back. You got to contribute. And it keeps coming back to doing for others, right? What do you say are the keys to happiness?
It's gratitude and do for others.
Gratitude and do for others. And how can we show what people with different abilities can do? So you mentioned, yes, we have an Autism Can Do Scholarship. It's a $5,000 scholarship. Now there's $2,500 for second place, $1,000 for third place. It's to shine a light and show, look what people with autism can do, and to support those efforts. So that's very important to us.
I think that's fantastic. And you did mention about advocacy. Can you talk about, you've testified before Congress twice. How is that important to your business?
The business has given us a platform where people are willing to listen to us. And that creates an obligation on our part to make use of that and to speak up for some people who may not have a voice. So yeah, we meet with legislators. We've testified twice before US Congress. We've spoken at the United Nations. Just yesterday for World Down Syndrome Day, we were in Albany, the New York State Capitol, and the New York State Assembly welcomed John and passed a resolution recognizing John's work and the work of John's Crazy Socks. But when we have those opportunities, we get to talk about employment issues and policy changes that would let people who have a different ability to retain more of their earnings. We're part of the CEO Commission on disability at employment and the neurodiversity at work roundtable. Anything we can do, and it's all of a whole, to promote what people with different abilities can do.
I love that. And it's really the start from crazy fun socks to advocacy and giving back. It's more than just the socks on your feet. It really is a difference maker in providing happiness for so many. Tell us about your relationship with former President George W. Bush and his father, George H.W. Bush, who was a fanatic for fun socks.
Well, back in the spring of 2017, we saw an article about how former President Bush, George H.W. Bush, liked to wear crazy socks. And you said,
I want to send him socks.
John said, let's send him some socks. John says that a lot. So we sent him some socks. And a while later, his office called and said, the former president really liked that. Can he get some more? And we sent him more socks. He then sent John socks. So now there's this back and forth. And on World Down Syndrome Day of 2018, the former president tweeted out a picture of the socks he was wearing, and he was wearing John's Down syndrome superhero socks. And he connected the dots. It was President Bush, George H.W. Bush, who signed the Americans with Disabilities Act. And that changed the world for millions of people. And it made possible the education that John got. And that made possible John's crazy socks. And then it went a little further when Mrs. Bush passed away, when Barbara Bush passed away. His office called and said the president and the family want to wear socks to honor her commitment to literacy. So we sent some book-themed socks from one of our suppliers down. And the president wore those. The only communication he had with the outside world that day was to tweet out a picture of the socks he was wearing. This was very emotional. It was a very big deal that the president of the United States at a time of emotional need reached out to my son.
Yeah.
And we carry those socks and they raise money for the Barbara Bush Family Literacy Foundation. So that was a very fortunate connection.
Obviously being a proponent for those with differing abilities and them to be able to succeed and thrive in life. What a legacy, and being able to have John's crazy socks be a part of that, I think is so wonderful.
Yeah, it's been very special for us.
Let's talk about your favorite socks. First, John, give us some of your favorite crazy socks you sell. What are some of your favorite patterns?
My favorite pair is a Down syndrome superhero sock. This my design. I draw it and I look very closely on some superhero socks. I picture up me.
It's got your face on it, huh?
That's so cool.
And what socks do you wear every Saturday?
Poopy emoji.
Poop emoji socks. John likes the poop emoji and the Bart socks, huh?
Yeah.
Because you could take the boy out of junior high, but you can't take the junior high out of the boy.
No, you can't. You can't. Mark, what are some of your favorite socks?
Oh, I like wearing the shark socks we have. I like wearing some of the autism awareness socks because they're so colorful. The banned book socks, I like those. But it turns out when you've got 4,000 different socks, we wear a lot of different socks. You're the real aficionado though, right?
Yeah, I do.
That's so cool. Now you have very happy customers from all around the world and a high repurchase rate. How do you do that? What are some of the ways that you connect with your customers?
It starts with an approach that says, we're going to do everything we can for our customers. We're going to take care of them. And, we built the business. We have these 5 pillars. It's the inspiration and hope. It's showing what people can do. It's the giving back. It's fun products you can love. We have to be a great business. So we got to have a great website, a great selection. The products have to be great. We have over 29,000 5-star reviews. And the service has to be great. We do same day shipping. If an order comes in today, it's going out today. We do better shipping than Amazon. And Jeff Bezos over at Amazon, he's not putting a thank you note in candy in those packages like
No,
John.
he's not. He's not.
We look for ways to make things personal with our customers and taking care of them. So that's made manifest in many ways, but I'll give you some examples. If you call here, you're going to speak to a happiness creator. We don't have any scripts. We don't time the conversations. They're human conversations. And we're always learning. So we sell socks for diabetics. And one day, one of our packers comes and says, we're sending socks to diabetics and we're sending them candy. What's wrong with this picture? So now we have a supply of sugar-free candy that goes if you order diabetic socks. If we get an order from a military base, we have a different package that goes out to say thank you. It's any way that we can find to make that personal connection. Or here's another example. If you're an e-commerce business or really any sort of business, every time we send out an email, we can see a little uptick in sales. And so what happens? Companies will send 1, 2, 3 emails a day. Do you like getting 3 emails a day from a store? No, nobody wants that. So we don't do that. We limit what we send because if you give us your email address, you're trusting us. And we're looking for a long-term connection. So every Friday, we send out an email to our customers, but we only send it to the customers who are opening the emails. If you stop opening the emails, we're not going to bother you. And who's that Friday email come from?
From me. I sent the email.
It's a note from John. It's not a sales pitch. It's just John talking about what he's been up to and what's going on. Right? It's because we're looking for that long-term relationship. We have a guarantee. We're going to guarantee your happiness. It doesn't expire. At any point, if you're not happy, let us know. We're going to refund your money. We'll send you extra socks. Anything we can do to try to make you happy. And our last pillar connects to this. And that's making this a great place to work. Right? If we want to spread happiness with our customers or in the community, we have to start here. And it works out that if we take care of our colleagues, they take care of our customers. So all that rolls up. And what happens? We do have a very high repurchase rate. We have very loyal customers. We have customers who bring us new customers through word of mouth. And our refund rate, even though we'll give anything away at any time, is 0.5 of 1%.
Wow.
We have very happy customers.
I think a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs can learn from John's Crazy Socks because of the customized customer service and the attention to detail. Like you said, if it's a military base buying socks, your packaging is going to look different. I myself am a diabetic, so having that sugar-free candy that would come when I order diabetic socks makes a huge difference because I'm not tempted by, a spike in glucose. So I think that's such an honorable thing, and the attention to detail and the story, the brand storytelling that you are taking place. And John, you're real. You're here right now. You're great. And being able to connect with those people has to be so much fun.
Yes, we have great socks. And now it's the world's largest sock store. But at the end of the day, we're not really a sock store. The socks become the physical manifestation for the story and the mission. And if all we're doing is selling socks, what do we say? Ours are better than yours.
Right.
Ours stretch more. Now, understand, again, we have great socks, but they mean so much more. They're carrying much more. And the two of us, we're pretty straightforward on this. We're just a couple of knuckleheads selling socks.
Right, Dad.
And all we want to do?
Change the world.
Change the world.
And y'all are changing the world. Where can people go to learn more about you, John, your work, and buy John's Crazy Socks?
Where can people find us?
I go at johncrazysocks.com.
johnscrazysocks.com. And listen, when you buy from us, you enable us to hire people with different abilities. You support our giving back, our advocacy work, and you're helping us spread happiness. It's a shared experience.
Get that.
But you can also find us on all the major social media platforms, but particularly Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You love making those TikTok
do.
videos.
I had today.
And we now have our own podcast. It is the, what's it called?
It's Spring Having Podcast with John and Mark.
The Spreading Happiness Podcast. It's a half hour. All we want to do is make you smile, make you feel good.
Right.
So it's a little banter between us. We tell some jokes.
Yes.
We share some good news similar to what you do.
I talk about my life.
Yes, we give an update on John's love life. So you can check us out on the Spreading Happiness Podcast.
That is so awesome. John, Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for powering the good in your community and around the world.
Thank you so much, Andrew. We can't wait to get down and visit you in Nashville and Memphis.
Yes, I will go this summer.
Yeah, we'll hit.
Okay, let's go. I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Thank you.